Good morning, folks. Thought I saw a rabbit. Gonna run the sprinklers. Gonna head over to the satellite property this morning and work for like 6 hours over there. Get the tomato beds prepped. Everything can go back outside. It's supposed to be 50 and above from here on out. Let's get it. Today is also incubation flip day, which means we take all of the chicken eggs in the incubator and put them into baskets, because over the next 2 or 3 days they will be hatching. We're gonna reload that bad boy right as soon as we unload it. Ever wonder how to incubate your own chickens? This is the stage before they hatch. This is called down the lockdown phase. We're gonna open this up and we're gonna put them in these baskets here, back on the racks. And we're going to raise the humidity and lower the temp a little bit. 120, baby! All the top ones here are going to be American Brace. Alright, on this phase there is a tray down here and it needs to stay full of water because there needs to be quite a bit of humidity in here or the eggshells. The membrane will dry out and the chicken or duck or whatever you're incubating will get trapped in the egg. It's terrible. We'll get our handy dandy parameter chart for the hatching right here. We're going to go 98.9 and then at 65 to 70% humidity. And now we wait like 3 days. Usually in a day or two, I start hearing cheep cheeps. They can go 2 or 3 days without needing food or water. You really want to try to keep from interrupting this because, like I said, it's pretty gruesome if they get trapped in there. And from what I've figured out, you can get them out of the egg by putting a little water on it, and it rehydrates the membrane and you can peel it back. But it's not very common that the animal lives or doesn't come out with some sort of deformity because they get stuck in a position for so long. But yeah, we'll check in a couple days. Alright, here we are at the satellite property. We laid a silage tarp 50 by 70, I believe, down here last year. Severely neglected. We did pull 2 rows of carrots out of here, but this year we're going to make use of this space. We're going to put tomatoes, peppers, tomatillos, anything that does better on drip. All overhead's going to be at the other property. So we are out of dirt at the moment. Did a little audible, kind of cool. We're just going to plant directly into the soil with the tomatoes and the basil. And then we'll come back in and put dirt over top of this. And we might end up doing that to every one of these rows. I don't know, we'll see. But the tomatoes and the basil, it kind of makes sense to do it here anyway, since these are gonna be a longer crop. And maybe we'll do a cover crop here next or in the fall or something. All right, taking a load of basil and tomatoes over to the satellite beds. I'll show you what I've done in a minute, but we've got 2 50-foot beds set up for the German Johnsons. All right, so we got the poles up, T-post, conduit, the plastic PVC tees, and now I'm about to put tomatoes down the rows, both of the middle of these, and then basil on the outsides of both of these. I'm gonna go 18 inches on the German Johnsons and about 8 inches on the basil. Be straight row 3. Straight row of 3. Had a few people asked me about this burlap and how it's going with it. Originally I'd said that it would only be for perennials like strawberries, but after doing this I'm thinking as long as you avoid some longer taproot type of crops, once you start stacking soil on here and this starts to break down, this might actually be a really good starting point. The soil here isn't too terrible, but I'm going to come back in, mound it up a little bit, fill in this with some of our compost. It's not quite ready, which is what made us decide to use this stuff here. All right, that's pretty much it for tonight. Almost got done with the tomatoes in this row. I did want to point out something that I've noticed with this burlap. After it's been sitting for a while, it attracts a lot of arthropods, I think. So like roly-polies, all kinds of bugs, and especially worms. As a base layer, I think it's awesome if you are strapped for time and you just need to get it done. Obviously, if I were to have it my way, there would be a light till and a cover crop and a crimp, silage tarp, and then you plant in it. That would be a perfect world, but we're trying to make a living. So we're going straight in with the burlap. We'll see how it does.